There are people alive today who will become millionaires specifically because of decisions they make in the next 24 months. Not from crypto. Not from real estate. From artificial intelligence. And the window to position yourself early is closing faster than most people realize. AI is no longer a futuristic concept sitting in a research lab somewhere. It is actively being woven into the foundation of the global economy. Goldman Sachs estimated that AI could contribute up to $7 trillion to global GDP over the next decade. That is not a projection from an optimistic tech blogger. That is one of the most respected financial institutions on earth putting a number on what is coming. So the real question is not whether AI will create massive wealth. The question is who captures it. To understand where the money is moving, you have to understand the layers of the AI economy. Think of it like building a city. Before you get skyscrapers and restaurants and businesses, you need roads, electricity, and plumbing. AI works exactly the same way. And right now, the biggest fortunes are being built at the infrastructure level. NVIDIA is the clearest example of this. Their GPUs are essentially the electricity powering the entire AI revolution. Data centers around the world are spending billions just to access NVIDIA's chips. In 2024, NVIDIA became one of the most valuable companies on the planet almost entirely because of AI demand. But NVIDIA is not alone. AMD has been aggressively competing in the GPU space, offering alternatives that major cloud providers are increasingly adopting. And TSMC, the Taiwanese semiconductor giant that manufactures chips for both NVIDIA and AMD, sits at one of the most critical choke points in the entire global tech supply chain. Without TSMC, much of what powers AI today simply cannot be built. Then there is the cloud infrastructure layer. Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet are spending hundreds of billions of dollars building and expand. Microsoft's deep partnership with OpenAI has transformed Azure into one of the fastest-growing cloud platforms on Earth. Google is embedding AI across its entire product ecosystem while simultaneously developing its own frontier models. Amazon's AWS remains the dominant cloud provider globally, and its investment in AI startups like Anthropic signals exactly where its long-term bets are placed. Now here is where things get interesting for investors watching 2026 specifically. The infrastructure wave is maturing. The next wave is AI software and applications. This is the layer where AI stops being a tool that engineers use and starts becoming something that runs businesses, creates content, analyzes legal documents, assists doctors, and manages financial portfolios. Companies that successfully deploy AI to dramatically reduce operating costs or unlock entirely new revenue streams are going to see their valuations reflect that almost immediately. Meta is a compelling example. After years of expensive metaverse losses, Meta pivoted hard into AI. Its advertising algorithms powered by AI are now generating returns that surprised even Wall Street. The company rebuilt its reputation almost entirely on the back of artificial intelligence efficiency. AI robotics is another sector that serious investors are watching closely. Physical AI, meaning machines that can navigate, adapt, and operate in the real world, is approaching a commercial tipping point. Companies developing humanoid robots and autonomous systems for manufacturing, logistics, and healthcare represent one of the highest risk, highest reward opportunities of the decade. But here is what separates smart investors from everyone else. They do not just chase the excitement. They understand the risks with equal clarity. AI investing carries real danger. Valuations in this space are stretched. Many AI companies are priced for a perfect future that is not guaranteed. Regulatory pressure is increasing globally. Governments in the US and Europe are actively working to shape how AI is developed and deployed, and those rules could significantly impact profitability. There is also the risk of concentration. If a handful of companies dominate AI the way a handful of companies dominated social media, smaller players may never see the returns early investors hoped for. The smartest investors in 2026 are not just buying anything with AI in the name. They are asking which companies have real revenue, real competitive advantages, and sustainable positions in the AI supply chain. They are watching capital expenditure announcements from the major cloud providers as a leading indicator of where AI infrastructure is expanding next. They are paying attention to enterprise AI adoption rates, because when Fortune 500 companies begin replacing legacy software with AI-native alternatives at scale, that is the moment the application layer explodes in value. The AI economy is not a bubble waiting to pop. It is a restructuring of how value is created across every industry on Earth. And restructurings of that scale always produce a new generation of wealth. The real question worth sitting with is this. A decade from now, when we look back at 2025 and 2026, will this be remembered as the moment that changed everything for those who were paying attention, or the moment that most people were too distracted to notice? That answer is still being written. And every episode on this channel exists to make sure you are writing yours intelligently.